Coming to Malaysia here began when I was sent here as a student for 2 years for missionary experience program, and then I went back to Kenya to complete my theological studies for 2 years, and then after my ordination I was sent back here to serve here as a missionary. My experience as a student, being here as a student to learn, to observe, was already a foretaste for me of how the missionary life is here, of how people have received that gift of faith through the missionaries, the many missionaries who came here more than 100 years ago. And it has been a really nourishing experience. It has been really an opportunity to experience the presence of God among the people of Sarawak here. As a student, I learned a lot, and that began with the language, to learn the language, and particularly the Iban dialect, so that I'll be able to immerse myself, to interact with the people and hear the stories. And that was amazing. And having had my fulfilling experience here as a student, and I went back home, and then I was ordained, sent back here. It was really a great joy to be back here as an ordained minister and as a Mill Hill missionary to serve here in Sarawak. I must say that until this time, I've never experienced anything that is more joyful and fruitful and fulfilling as being a missionary, missionary here in Sarawak. Looking back to what has been fulfilled here in Sarawak, and particularly through the million missionaries, as we reflect on what God has done among us through the million missionaries as we celebrate 150th anniversary this year of our congregation. Really look back with a lot of gratitude, for what the million missionaries have done, here in Sarawak. And particularly that sense of gratitude, I can feel it among the people of Sarawak. It's really there. That seed of faith that was sown here has really borne a lot of fruits. And that sense of gratitude is reflected on how people receive missionaries here. Like myself, when I arrived here, they always thought back and they will share a lot of stories with a lot of passion. That it's through Mill Hill that we too became aware of that the treasure that God has gifted us with, which is a gift of faith. And through that gift of faith, they share with a lot of passion. And through the million missionaries, they were able, to experience what other people have experienced in other parts of the world, and particularly through their grandparents. They say Mill Hills are the one who brought that education to the rural areas, encouraging people to treasure education and send their children for education, and also things to do with the health care. They say the million missionaries were among those during those early days, more than 100 years ago, who also help people to have a better health care and to coordinate with other like sisters, million sisters who worked here, and other organizations being able to take care of the people here in Sarawak, mostly in rural areas, in remote areas. So that sense of gratitude for the service of the million missionaries, I must regard them as, refer to them as veterans who have worked here. Some of them I met when I arrived here, the likes of Father William Boss, Father Ferdinand Vigier, Father Thomas Connors, and Father Albert Jacobs, Father James Meehan, who is still there in Kuching, Father Terry Berg. So with all these missionaries and those who worked here and already they have gone before us, really I'm filled with that sense of gratitude. And that gratitude also is a motivation for me yeah, to build, to continue in my own gifts that God has given to me, own talents as a missionary, to continue based on that foundation, to let that faith to be more, to blossom more among the people, and reach out to the people who also still need that outreach for us to share with them this good news here in Sarawak. When I arrived as an ordained minister, as a mini missionary, I was sent to work to serve in Kanawit, St. Francis Xavier Church, Kanawit. And there, I must say that it was really amazing time for me. First, to reach out the people in the rural areas, the remote areas, traveling by boat, sometimes 8 hours on boat, on the long boat. And that, for me, it was really a sense of, that spirit of a missionary reaching out. And it also reminded me of Jesus himself in the apostles, who used also to travel on board to reach out to the people. And not only that, but that joy within my heart and reaching to the people, and then meeting them, and then listening to their stories, sharing their lives, feeling with them their joys, but also with their struggles. So that gives me a lot of sense of fulfillment as a missionary serving here in Sarawak, and particularly there at that time in Kanawit. And I must say, between Kanawit and where I am serving currently here at Christ the King Church, Bintango, there's a difference. Kanawit is, I must say, around 99% Iban region. The Chinese population is only a small percentage. And there in Kanawit, I realized how much still we need to reach out to the people there to evangelize. Some longhouses are still not Christianized, but how do you reach out to them? By just witnessing, and by them seeing the love, the care, being with them, mixing with them, sharing stories. They're just touched, and themselves will just say, okay, I myself also would like to become a Christian. Without any force, no. Without telling them you have to become a Christian, no. But just by witnessing among them with love and care, people just get touched by God's Spirit, and they respond to that, to be baptized and become Christians. So in Kanawit, I felt how much still we need to reach out to the people. But here in Bintango, I must say, since I arrived here, mostly the Ibans, even some longhouses around this area, they're still not evangelized. Some of them are already evangelized, they're already Christians, but they are lapsed in a way that they are no more active in coming to the church and participating in church activities. So there's also need to deepen that faith that have already been received, to deepen it, and to reach out to them and share with them, the fruits of the faith that we profess, and also to, in a way, remind them of the treasure that they have received, for them to treasure it and to make it also bear more fruit among themselves, in their families, but also in their community here. So to deepen that faith is something that I feel that we still need to respond to personally as a missionary here. And here in the parish also, there's also a calling for me to reach out to the people and promote the unity among the here as a community. Because here in Bintango, we have the Chinese speaking and also the Iban speaking. And for them, they have been living together really in harmony, in peace. They work together. But at the same time, still there's a need to deepen that, based on that opportunity, to make them, to help them, or to create that awareness, more awareness among them, to deepen that awareness of the need to be more united, to work together more closely, and also to reach out to one another, to visit one another as one community of God. And apart from that, so I must say that for the time I've been here, Some of the challenges that are faced here, and also partly in Kanawe where I was before, is the need to respond to the needs of the young people, the youth. It's a great need here because they are a bit laid back, and I think that happens in many parts of the world because of the modernization. The youth tend to, to treasure things which are very modern, and of course they forget about their faith. So there's that calling to help them to be much closer, to feel a sense of belonging to the church, to participate in the activities in the church, to share that gift they have received, the gift of faith, with one another, and to be active, to make that faith, in them to grow more deeply. So in that regard, it's still a journey to make in the parish. I've been trying to work together with the lay people here, those who are volunteered, to help work with the youth, and there's progress. There's progress, but it's not an easy task to go about. But I believe with the Spirit of God among us, God's presence among us, I think with time we'll work together with them so that they will continue to feel a sense of belonging to the church and to be active in the church, to serve the Lord in His church. Apart from that, also the challenge that I face here is to do with the people, because they really treasure their faith, yes. They are very active in the church, yes. But there's also a calling that are also here to be able to deepen their faith in a way, by treasuring that faith, to go beyond just believing, but to deepen it in a sense, not only to be devoted because there are many devotions also in the parish here, the praying rosary, divine mercy, this novena, Our Lady. In a way, I appreciate it very much. It's an opportunity, because it helps them also to be more reflective in the faith that they have received. But at the same time, they can be a little bit inward looking. So in a way, to create the sense of the missionary sense, to reach out to others, to open up, to be able to share that good news more widely with others, not just within the community here, the families, but to reach out to others, to witness. I think that sense of mission is what I feel that God is calling us to treasure and also to promote it among ourselves and to live it in our life here. And I believe that with the opportunities which are already available, the lay people who are already very active, they are really willing, they are really generous. The sense of generosity in the parish here is amazing. The hospitality is amazing. And from that, by their kindness, their generosity, they are willing to volunteer, to participate in the parish ministries like reaching out to people in the longhouses, teaching the catechetical classes, also helping in prayer groups. So already the lay people are already having that spirit of serving in different ministries in the parish. So I think those are already opportunities for us to base on that and reach out to the people to share the good news with them. And I'm sure as time goes by, they'll feel that sense of calling as missionaries within their own country, within their own parish here, to reach out to others and treasure that gift of missionary, because by the virtue of being a Christian, we are missionaries. And I hope that will bear more fruit in the parish and also beyond the diocese. So apart from that, I feel very happy, very joyful, and particularly as we celebrate our 150th anniversary as Milling Hill Society in the world. Personally, being part of this society of missionaries, I feel proud, and I'm also, in a way, motivated in that the fruits that have already been born during these 150 years of service, million contribution in the propagation of faith in the world. I also feel that with my gifts, with what God has given to me, with opportunities and the privileges that God gives me in order to share my faith and missionary, that in the years to come, I'll be able to serve people here faithfully, lovingly, and a lot of care, so that God's kingdom is felt, is built among His people here in Sarawak or wherever that I find myself in.